everyone, my name is Sarah and welcome to my channel. So I'm a bit devastated right now because I was editing a vlog that I absolutely loved and I deleted a bunch of the footage on accident because I don't know what I'm doing. So I do have some footage left over though, and it is an event that I went to put on by my local bookstore and I want to support them. So I'm still going to include it in this vlog, even though it's from a couple weeks ago. I went to a book swap hosted by them. They do this every few months, and this time they did. Usually we do it at a park, and this time it was at a bar. They had a bunch of cute bookish themed cocktails and we watched Bridgerton and it was a lot of fun. So I'm still going to include it, and I'm also going to include a little bit of one of my recent 5-star reads. So I'm going to take you back a couple weeks right now. Okay, so I just got back from the book swap. First of all, it was so fun. They had Bridgerton playing in the bar, and then the themed cocktails were really good. I just got one. I got an ube flavored drink, and it was called Reese's Eyes. And then I just want to show you guys what I got. So I only went with 4 books, and this is everything that I came out with, and they still had so much left, but I just I couldn't carry anymore. So first thing I got, The Invisible Life of Addie LaRue. I already have read this book, but I had the hardcover and the dust jacket got all messed up, so I donated it. And I've just been really wanting to get a paperback ever since, so I got that. I got Magnolia Parks. This is for my daughter's cousin. Lies and Weddings. This is the same author that wrote the Crazy Rich Asian series, and I love the movies, and I've read like 2 of the books and I really like them. He just does rich people problems so well. So I've been really wanting to read the rest of his books. Belladonna, this is on my fall and winter TBR, so I was really happy to snag a copy. This one I was really excited about. It is all 3 of the Summer I Turned Pretty books in one. I haven't ever seen this before, and I haven't seen this cover before. I've read all of them, but I don't think I own any physical copies. I think I've read them all through the library. Heavenbreaker, this is actually an art copy. The bookstore, they get a ton of ARCs and they'll put them out at book swaps after they're released. Obviously not before they're released. So I always get at least a couple ARCs whenever I go to one of these. Every summer after, I read this in this vlog obviously, but I read a library copy. So now I have this copy, and now I think I own all of Carly Fortune's books. Ellen Hildebrand, The Rumor. I probably won't read this year because it is like a summer read, but now I kind of have started my little Ellen Hildebrand collection. Love Arranged. I actually was supposed to meet Lauren Asher a couple weeks ago and get a signed copy of this, but something came up so I couldn't go, and someone set this down on the table and I just snatched it right up. This Is How You Lose the Time War. This was a romance themed book swap, but there's always a few people that bring like a couple other genres, which I really like. It kind of switches things up. Okay, Metal Slinger. I saw a vlog. I can't remember whose vlog it was the other day, but she was reading this book and like crying at the end. So I thought, like, right when I saw that, I was like, okay, like I said, I need to read more fantasy. And that just sounded like a really good one to go with. Her Night at the Museum. This looks really cute. I actually requested the arc of this on NetGalley and I didn't get it, but like that cover is so freaking cute. Tomorrow and Tomorrow and Tomorrow. I saw 2 people bring this and I grabbed this copy. If you live in the Sacramento area or NorCal area, this event is put on by Naughty Novels, which is owned by Capital Books. And they do tons of book swaps. They do tons of author events, like just tons of like really fun events, and it's really fun meeting members of the Sacramento reading community. Okay, and then I also want to do a reading update while we're here. So first thing, I finished Summer Romance. I really liked it. I'm still trying to decide what I want to rate it. I'm thinking probably like a 4-star, but maybe a 3.75 just because I loved it. I just don't know that I'm going to be like thinking about it a lot since then, but I'm definitely going to recommend it to people, especially people like around my age. I also finished Great Big Beautiful Life. You guys, I loved it. I feel like I hear mixed reviews about it, which is, I mean, that's any book. A lot of people were saying that it's not like a romance, and I feel like 90% of the book was a romance. And then at first I wasn't really into like I forget her name, the woman that she's interviewing. At first I didn't really care about her story, and I thought that was going to be what I cared about the most. When you start getting towards the end, and like if you know, like things start coming together, and I was hooked. I also really liked the romance in it too. I don't know if this is just my opinion, but I don't feel like that. The only thing about the book, I didn't feel like it needed any smut. I'm not anti-smut in any way. I don't mind it in books at all, but I just don't feel like it fit in with the story. And my only wish for Emily Henry is that, I don't want to say that she wouldn't do smut, period, because like book lovers and people we meet on vacation, I feel like it fits well in there. But there's other books like Happy Place and then Great Big Beautiful Life. I don't feel like it needs it at all. So that's the only thing that I would have changed. I just feel like it was kind of forced and awkwardly placed. I mean, then again though, part of the whole thing, I don't feel like this is a spoiler, but part of the reason that even though they have this attraction to each other, they're both trying to get the same job, so he doesn't want to feel like he's taking advantage of her. So I get why there's intimacy involved in the book, but I just don't feel like we needed like smut scenes. Also, I started The Wedding People. I mentioned that a little bit earlier, I think, but I'm loving this so much. I really like dark humor and then just like a big cast of characters where it's like feels like a character study. If you haven't heard of this book, first I would look up trigger warnings. There is talks of ending someone's life purposely. So our main character Phoebe, she's going to this hotel that she's always wanted to go to with her husband before they split up. And she decides that she is going to end her life at this hotel. When she gets there, there's a wedding party, and it's one of those weddings where it's like it's gonna last a whole week. So they're all at this hotel, and the couple thought that they booked the hotel up and it would only be the wedding party there. And so when the bride meets this woman, she's like, who are you? Like, are you in my fiance's family? And she's like, no, I'm just here to end my own life. And selfishly, I mean, the bride is like, you can't do that because this is my wedding and you're going to ruin my wedding if you do that. And so she's like, just spend the week with my family and friends and then you can just do it after, kind of thing. It's like really bizarre, but like they're kind of forming a friendship now. And the bride is kind of telling Phoebe, you're probably like the only one here that I can actually trust. Like, I feel like some of my family and friends are fake. You're the only one that's being honest with me. And they're kind of building a friendship. It's definitely very, very dark humor. If you're not into that, I wouldn't read it, but I'm really enjoying it. I'm trying to decide if I want to make a late night matcha. It's like 10:30 right now. So obviously not the best time to have caffeine, but I do want to stay up as late as possible so I can get pretty far into this book. So maybe like make like a half serving of matcha is what I'm thinking. I do want to give a reading update on The Wedding People. I'm only halfway through this, so it's probably way too soon to say this, but so far it is feeling like a 5-star. It feels like people watching at a wedding. Like, that's exactly what it is. Phoebe, our main character, she is starting to build a friendship with the bride, but it's more like they're friends, but Phoebe thinking in her head like she's not really the biggest fan of her. I don't know how else I can explain it. The bride feels like she can talk to Phoebe and tell her anything, and then in Phoebe's head she's kind of like judging her left and right. So Phoebe is an academic. She's highly intelligent, and then she's spending time with this wedding party that most of them are very vapid and self-centered. So she's not the biggest fans of them, but she's like, I'm getting a free vacation, so whatever. There's also a friendship, I'll call it a friendship, forming between another person at this wedding, and I'm very curious to see how that goes. I can't really say much, and I won't say that it's a romance. I don't think there's going to be any kind of romance in this book, and I don't think that this is going to turn into a romantic relationship, but it's definitely, there's like a connection happening. There was like a really, really good quote that, let me find it real quick. Anyways, the quote is Phoebe's like hanging out with this group of people. She's not really getting on so well with all of them. Like, I don't think she really likes most of the people in the group except for this one person. They're in a conversation with everyone, but they're just bouncing off of each other so well and kind of like saying jokes that no one else is getting. Like, their manner of speaking is so different from everyone else. And I don't want to say that they're more intelligent than everyone else, but like they kind of are. And the quote is, there are some people in this world who remind you of exactly how you like to speak. She hasn't met a person like this in a long time, not since she met her husband, which was why it was so painful when she started to forget how to speak to her husband. And I just really like that because I feel like all right, so it's a couple weeks later and I have finished The Wedding People, and I just want to give a quick review before I move on to the rest of the vlog. That was a 5-star read for me. I was absolutely obsessed with it and I keep thinking about it, and I love literary fiction, but I haven't been reading it as much, and that has made me really want to read a lot more literary fiction, especially going into the fall. I'd say that Wedding People is definitely more of like a summary kind of feel, but I want to read more like, kind of like eerie literary fiction. So yeah, 5-star, definitely recommend. Like I said before, definitely look up the trigger warnings, but if you're okay with those trigger warnings and you want to read kind of like a dark humor with like a summery feel, definitely give that one a shot. Right now I'm getting ready to go to a coffee shop. I am going to start, it's my first fantasy of the year, I'm pretty sure. And then I'm going to make it officially my first fall read. It is called The Death of Locke. So I don't know 100% what this book is about. I'm going into it blind, but I've seen people say that it has kind of like these vibes. The reason that I haven't really read any fantasy this year is because I just save all my fantasy reads for the fall and winter time. I wish that I wasn't the type of person that had to like read my books like with the seasons, because I feel like I can't fit in like everything in the fall and winter. And then also I'm working on an art commission for one of my book besties over on Instagram. I'll show you guys a little bit like what I've done with it so far. So it's kind of hard to see on camera because it's a digital piece, so like the glare and like the exposure kind of makes it hard to see, but it's her holding her Stanley and a couple books, and I'm going to work on it. I'm getting towards being finished with it, but I have a few like finishing touches I want to add, and then I'll send it over to her. I'm going to head to the coffee shop now. There's also a Home Goods and a Nordstrom Rack in this shopping center, so I'm probably going to stop in there. This coffee shop I'm going to tends to get really busy with people studying on the weekends, so I'm hoping I'll be able to find a table. If not, I guess I can sit outside, even though it's fall, like it's officially fall, but here in Northern California, it's still almost 90 degrees out. So I would rather sit inside. Good morning, everyone. It's Sunday morning and I am supposed to be logging in to work today, but I'm procrastinating doing that. So I just thought I would give you guys an update. I did work on my commission a lot yesterday. I actually sent her over kind of like the preview of the final piece, and I'm just waiting for her to respond, and then I'll finish it up. I haven't really gotten that far into the second Death of Locke. Really at the beginning of fantasy books, even when I'm a good chunk of the way in, if I tried to give you guys an update, I wouldn't be able to say in words like what is going on. Even I'm still trying to figure out like the world building and everything. But I have gotten pretty far into the audiobook for The 7-Year Slip by Ashley Poston, and I'm really loving that. I love books that are set in New York, and especially I think the book kind of takes place throughout the year, but there definitely is like an autumnal feel to it, and I'm really, really loving that. So I'm hoping if I get a response from her on my commission today, I'll probably, when I'm drawing, finish up listening to that. Also, while I'm working, I'll probably be listening to it too. Something I can update you guys on in the second Death of Locke is that there's these illustrations in the book that are so pretty, and they kind of give you like an idea of what the vibe is.
So yeah, it's like very like, I think she's like they said that she's a mage, and I don't know what a mage is. I think it's like a knight. Or no, she's not a mage. So she's dedicated her life to her mage. So I don't know if she's a knight, and then I'm gonna have to look this up.
Is that the summation?
Yeah, they're the same thing.
Wrong. He was so wrong.
Okay, our neighbors are working on their house, so if you hear anything, that's what it is. But I had to look it up because it was bothering me. So a mage in fantasy novels is someone who uses magic. I don't know if you guys, so I've never been one to get like the latest iPhone. Like I'll run my phone into the ground, but my phone carrier, they were having a trade-in deal where I could basically get the new iPhone. I don't want to say for free, but like I traded it in, and like I don't have to finance it or whatever. So I filmed some of all the clips in the coffee shop yesterday were filmed on my iPhone, and the camera on this thing is so good. Like I normally say like don't get the latest phone, like it's such a waste. But if you do need a new phone, or if you have an opportunity to get it for cheap, just for the camera alone, like I highly recommend it. Hello everyone, it is Monday, and that means it is Taylor Swift release week. I'm so excited for her new album to come out. Every time she announces, not just her, but anytime anyone announces an album, it feels like it's so far away and it's never going to get here, and then all of a sudden it's here. So I did not finish the 7-Year Slip yesterday like I had planned, but I'm about to start work and I'll be able to finish the audiobook within probably like 30 minutes. So I am really liking where it's going. There is like a really sad element to it that I wasn't expecting. I mean, I already knew it was going to be sad, but just not. There was like a twist, I guess you could say, that happened that I wasn't expecting. There's a lot of twists happening, and some of them were really obvious. And then this one I wasn't expecting. So I have about 30 minutes left of that, and then I'll probably start a new audiobook today. I think I'm going to look on Libby and see if there's any like fall specific audiobooks available, because it's like actually feeling like fall in Sacramento right now. I slept with my window open. It was super chilly when I woke up, and I just want to be fully immersed in fall. I also have Gilmore Girls going today. I did get a little bit further into the second Death of Locke, and I do have a little bit of a better understanding of what this is about. So like I said before, Kier is a mage, so Kier's a magic wielder, but it also looks like Gray, who is our main character in the night, has some of her own magical abilities as well.
She's not a sir? You're not the knight?
And I noticed in the book that like Kier and Gray are always together, which makes sense, but they even sleep in the same bed, but not like in a romantic way. There's definitely like a little bit of romantic tension, but that's not why they're sleeping in the same bed together. So I thought that was really interesting. And then I don't know if this is a spoiler, because I'm not going to say it, but like it's like a spoiler, but it's not, because it happens so early in the book. They are forced to be separated at one point, and they really, really don't want to be separated. And it is more like a life or death reason that they don't want to be separated. And that leads us into where we think it's hinted that Gray might have her own magical abilities. So there's also a mysterious child that has shown up, and I think that they're part of their mission that they're going to have is to protect this child, but we haven't quite gotten there yet. So I am really liking it. It is giving not necessarily like fall vibes, but just like any medieval fantasy, I just automatically associate with fall and winter. And I want to read more medieval fantasy. I feel like the past few years, like romantasy has kind of taken over, and some of them do have medieval elements to it, but I really want to read more high fantasy this year. And this is kind of like, I feel like this is high fantasy light. Like it is considered high fantasy, but not necessarily like John Gwen. Like I read one of John Gwen's books a few years ago, and I think that I want to read. I don't know if I want to continue the series that I read originally, because it's been so long. I don't think I would remember anything, but there's another series of his that I definitely want to start this year. So yeah, I'm going to start work, finish my audiobook and probably start another one. And then when I get off work, I do have a few errands to run and I want to do my nails. So I don't know if I'll be able to read this right away, but tonight I'm definitely going to get a good chunk of it done. So it's the end of the weekend, like literally midnight, and I'm just now talking to the camera for the first time all weekend. I just had a really stressful work week and I just needed to just have time to myself, in that even though I was like recording what I was doing, like I needed to just not be talking. I did have a pretty good relaxing weekend. I went to a new matcha spot, or not, it's not new, but new to me, matcha spot in Sacramento called Tram Coffee. I loved it. The decor was super cute. They had really good matcha. They had lots of different flavors, but I just got like a plain matcha. I want to go back again and try like an ube one, or I think they had a cheesecake one, and then they also had a lot of Vietnamese coffee. I love Vietnamese coffee, but I had already had an energy drink earlier that day, so I was like, I cannot have a Vietnam. Like, if you know, like they're super strong. Then I went and got a banh mi next door. That was so good. And I went to one of my favorite grocery stores in the area. Today, I was getting caught up on commissions. There's 2 that I've been working on all week. I'm getting close to done with both of them. One of them I sent off to her to review, just so that she can like tell me if she likes her hair color, because last time I sent it to her, like I made her hair a little bit too light, so I fixed that, just letting her give me any feedback. And then once I get that done, then I'll just like do like the finishing touches and send that off to her. As far as reading goes, I'm on part 3 of this book and I'm obsessed with this. I did realize like my descriptions of the book earlier on, like I was saying, like fantasy, like I'm just not good at comprehending what's going on in the beginning. So I was saying that she was a knight. I don't think she's a knight. I think she's a healer. Well, I know that she's a healer, but I thought that she was like a knight that could also heal, but she is a healer. So here is the magic wielder, and then if he gets injured, like in battle or something, then she can heal him. And now they're off on their journey, and it's really reminding me a lot of Six of Crows. So they're set off on this mission that's pretty much impossible with another group of people. And I wouldn't say that they're like misfits in the same way that Six of Crows is, but they are like, there's just a group of people doing like this impossible mission. It's so impossible that they were going to get paid for the mission, but like Kier and Gray said, like, if we do this, like, we don't want to be a mage and a healer anymore. Like, we want to be able to just go and live the rest of our lives and have enough money to, like, get a new life started for us. And, like, we don't want to come back to this. And that's not really something that they allow. You can't just, like, I think it's, like, similar to being in the military. Like, you can't just leave whatever you want. But, like, the mission's so impossible that they were like, oh, yeah, sure, like, whatever you want, because I like low-key don't think that they think that they're even going to be able to pull this off. And that's kind of how Six of Crows was. Like, they were like promised this crazy amount of money, and I think the main reason they were promised it is because no one thought that they were even going to be able to complete the heist anyways. The mission is that they're bringing the girl that injured Kier. They're escorting her in this travel because everyone thinks that she is the heir to Locke, but there is a twist in there that I can't say. And like it's so dangerous. Everyone wants to capture this girl, so they need to escort her, and it's going to be an almost impossible mission. So I'm on part 3. I don't want to say too much that's going on. I went into this blind, and even though I didn't know what was going on at first, like I still think fantasy, it's good to go in that way. I am going to read a little bit more before I go to bed and then head to sleep because I have to get up early for work. Like I really do not want to work tomorrow. I think that every day last week except for Tuesday, I worked 10 hours. Sitting at a desk for 10 hours is so draining. My boss did, like, she sensed that, like, I'm kind of exhausted, so she asked if I wanted some time off. So I might do what I did earlier in the month and take, like, a day off just to read, because that really helped me a lot.